That was during the 2016 presidential campaign, when pressed by MSNBC's Chris Matthews to elaborate on his ardent, if comparatively recent, opposition to abortion. He agreed that there has to be some form of punishment for women who have one. Idaho seems to be a hotbed of this kind of thinking. Last year, another legislator, State Senator Dan Foreman, introduced a bill to classify abortion as first-degree murder, on the part of both the woman and the provider. Foreman's bill, which did not advance, made an exception to save the mother's life, a compromise that some Republicans in the Ohio legislature obviously consider a sign of weakness. They are backing a bill to prosecute women who obtain an abortion even to save their own lives. Politically, a platform of arresting women for homicide. There were around 20,000 abortions in Ohio in 2016 could easily backfire on the GOP if executions were to start. As a legal strategy, it is part of the anti-abortion movement's broader effort to find a case that can give the Supreme Court an excuse to revisit, and hopefully overturn, its ruling in Roe v. Wade. But as a matter of principle, Williamson is far from alone in believing that women who seek an abortion are just as culpable as the physicians who perform the procedure. In fact, it is the only logical position to hold, in light of the movement's endlessly repeated mantra that abortion is murder. Treat her as you would a woman who pays a hitman to kill her husband. That was just the point Justice Blackmun made in his opinion in Roe, writing, in a footnote, when Texas urges that a fetus is entitled to 14th Amendment protection as a person, it faces a dilemma. If the fetus is a person, why is the woman not a principal or an accomplice? Further, the penalty for criminal abortion is significantly less than the maximum penalty for murder. If the fetus is a person, may the penalties be different. We are convinced that abortion is most often a tragically desperate act, the statement continued. Available research indicates that coercion is often a factor in over 64% of the cases when women experience abortion. Despite rhetoric from advocates of abortion on demand, abortion is most often not freely chosen by women. Even taking this at face value, that leaves more than a third of women who did freely choose abortion. Should they get off scot-free? You could, if that's your concern, pass a law making abortion a crime and specifically allow coercion as a defense. All in favor, say aye. A different group, Abolish Abortion Idaho, which supported Foreman's bill to criminalize abortion, has a more straightforward take on it. Pro-life organizations like Right to Life of Idaho have never understood that they undermine their position by treating abortion as something less than what it is: murder. The actual historical pro-life position, in contradiction to Right to Life of Idaho's claim, is found in one of the oldest and most well-supported documents on the planet, the Bible. In Genesis 9:6, we find this: Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of God made he man. Luckily for her, she wasn't hanged. But some people would like to see that changed.